I'm Senator George Mitchell, and today we're talking about the importance of compromise, bipartisanship, and working together to achieve the goals that best serve our people and our country.
Baruch here with genConnect.com, joined today by Senator George Mitchell. Senator Mitchell, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Baruch.
You've made an incredible impact on this country so far, and one of your positions was Senate Majority Leader. While in that position, what did you witness in the realm of bipartisanship? What did you see as the true roadblocks to achieving bipartisan cooperation?
First, I think you have to have some context. Most people tend to look to the past through rose-colored glasses and imagine a history that really never was. We airbrush out the bad parts and remember the good parts. There has never been a time in American history when politics wasn't rough and tumble, with a lot of invective, a lot of difficulty, a lot of factions, and a lot of feuding. Just go back to Thomas Jefferson's time, to what Lincoln had to go through, many other presidents and times. So there isn't any magic era that one can look at when it was all sweetness and life and light. But I do acknowledge and believe that it is worse now than it's ever been for a variety of factors, not the least of which is that camera that's recording us right now. The electronic communication is so powerful, so ubiquitous. It has a tremendous impact that didn't exist in Jefferson's time or Lincoln's time or even Franklin Roosevelt's time. And the power of 30-second ads, and particularly negative attack ads, they have the power to inflame, to infuriate, to get people angry and upset in a way that reading about it a month later in a newspaper just didn't have 100 or 150 years ago. When I was there, I thought it was tough, but it was nothing like today, and we did get along reasonably well. When I was elected Senate Majority Leader, on the first day, one of the first meetings I had, at my request, was with Bob Dole, who was the Republican leader in the Senate, and had been the Majority Leader before. And I said to him, these are tough jobs, in my judgment, impossible if you and I don't have any trust between us. I proposed to him that we reach agreement, nothing in writing, just a handshake between two friends. I told him, I'll always give you notice of what I'm going to do. I'll never surprise you. I'll never try to embarrass you. I'll never criticize you personally. And I hope that you'll do the same to me. He was pleased, eager and anxious. We shook hands. And to this moment, never once has a harsh word passed between us, privately or publicly.
You made that treaty.
We made that agreement, and we kept it. Now, we disagreed almost every day on major legislation. Sometimes his view prevailed, sometimes mine prevailed, but we understood that we had a larger loyalty to the country, to the institution, and that we could represent our parties and represent our principles in ways that didn't require the kind of personal, attacking, negative kind of stuff you see today. And so it is possible, although I have to say it's very difficult. The large amount of money flowing into politics now is really without precedent. It's much more than it was just 15 years ago when I was there, and it's getting worse every year. The sort of dramatic increase in what I would call ideologues who have to have their way, my way or the highway. This is a country of 315 million people. Very diverse, very large geographically and in terms of population. There are so many different interests and competing views in this country. The notion that you can govern the United States of America without ever compromising any point, without ever conceding anything to those who disagree with you, really is a fantasy. It doesn't fit the reality. So there has to be some kind of willingness to accept that the other guy might be right sometime. And even if you think he isn't, you got to agree to make a compromise. You can't get 100% of what you want 100% of the time.
Can we translate the relationship that you had with Senator Dole into a greater prescription for bipartisanship today?
I think it's possible to reduce the personal acrimony considerably. I don't know that you can overcome the problems that arise from the tremendous sums of money, the sort of the single issue things. You've read in the papers where candidates give $10, $15 million committed to one specific issue and pledge $100 million. I mean, donors to candidates or to their so-called independent political action committees. And you've got a growing number of people who sort of feel infused with righteousness. I'm right and you're wrong, and if you disagree with me, you're not just wrong, you're anti-American, or you're not a real American, or you're worse, you're criminal and you're bad. Reasonable people can disagree on issues without one being bad. And of course the repeated claims to the support of the Almighty. I said once in a different context that although he's regularly asked to do so, God doesn't take side in American politics. The fact of the matter is that each of us can be good persons spiritually, morally, and in a civic sense, and still disagree.
Right.
It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you less American. It doesn't make you a less real human being because you don't agree with me on an issue.
Right.
It means we disagree. That's all it means. I think we should begin with the premise that all of us are good Americans, that all of us want to do what's right for our country. We just have different views about how to get there, and we've got to figure out a way to work together to reach an accommodation so that we can serve the people by moving forward together.
Senator Mitchell, thank you.
Thank you.
And for more with Senator George Mitchell, be sure to check out genConnect.com.